500 years ago, the Lord Chamberlain handed over the London villages of Paddington and Chelsea to his king in exchange for this country estate. Find out in which county he happily set up his new home in just a few moments. Space is the theme of today's show as we help a couple escape the claustrophobic commuter belt for the vast expanse of the countryside. One of our properties fails to hit the mark.
It's a little smaller than I was expecting.
Yes.
But they're impressed by another. You both look a little overwhelmed. Is that fair to say?
I think that's a good word, yes.
It's very difficult to take it all in.
Today I'm in Hampshire and this is Mottisfont Abbey, originally a 12th century Augustinian priory which Henry VIII gifted to Lord William Sandys when he abolished the monasteries in the 1530s. Lord Sandys, like many other noble beneficiaries, then transformed his religious property into lavish dwellings and actually incorporated the nave and the church tower into his conversion. With the River Test running through the grounds, he certainly created a stunning rural retreat, which today remains a real gem in this county. Hampshire is situated on the south coast of England and is surrounded by 5 counties, including Dorset and Wiltshire, and West Sussex and Surrey. The county capital is the historic cathedral city of Winchester, which is packed with awe-inspiring architecture and is home to Winchester College, which claims to be the oldest continuously running school in the country. The countryside offers a variety of landscapes from hilly downland to coastal heath. Hampshire boasts 2 national parks, one of which is the New Forest. Established as a royal hunting ground by William the Conqueror in the 11th century, it's famous for its own indigenous breed of pony. On the southern edge of the New Forest is the coastal market town of Lymington, well known as a sailing resort with 2 large marinas. The town itself is characterised by narrow cobbled streets and a range of Georgian buildings. It's this enchanting blend of coast and countryside that makes Hampshire an appealing destination for those looking for rural beauty in their surroundings. House buying in Hampshire comes at a price. The average cost of a detached property here is just shy of £350,000. That's around £90,000 above the national figure. There are more affordable options if you look beyond Winchester and New Forest locations like Lymington or Lyndhurst. With that in mind, let's meet today's buyers. Chris and Gillian currently live in a 4-bedroom new build in Chalfont St Peter, in the heart of the London commuter belt in Buckinghamshire. Chris has lived in the village all his life and Gillian for the last 20 years, but over that time they've noticed a change.
The area's becoming busier and busier, and it's very easy to look back with rose-tinted glasses of how it was when I was a child, but it's not the village that I would like to be living in the future.
We found that in commuter land there's much more traffic now than there used to be. There's more people around. Getting an appointment at the doctor is much more difficult than it used to be. So I think we're just looking forward to being more relaxed and living a slower pace of life, which we're both ready for at this stage.
They've been together for 7 years and have 2 children each from previous relationships. With Chris having taken voluntary redundancy from his job as a financial services manager in London and Gillian's youngest daughter off to university, it's a chance to realise their dream.
I think ever since we've known each other, we've known that we would like to go and live in the country. I was certainly brought up in the country and have always wanted to go there, but it's not been practical with family commitments and work commitments, but now is our opportunity.
Chris and Gillian previously owned a second home together on the Isle of Wight, which they've now sold to help finance this move, and it's given them a taste of the country.
When you look back at the TV programme The Good Life, we can see something in that with growing our own things, chickens, and I know somebody would like some other animals as well. But it would be very much home alone and self-sufficient.
They've set their sights on Hampshire to begin this new chapter in their lives.
Hampshire's a very beautiful countryside with the New Forest. We've got border collies and we do a lot of walking, and I like the idea of being in a small village because they're very, very pretty, and also it's accessible to the coast. So to me, Hampshire's got everything.
Gillian is a freelance musician and is keen to get involved in the local community.
I play the piano and the cello, and I accompany choirs, musical theatre companies. I play the cello in amateur dramatics. I'd like to do more of that. I've found that I've done less recently.
Chris also has a range of hobbies that he wants to pursue, which includes gardening.
Photography is another one of my hobbies, and I think I could enhance my skills and interest in it by, for example, joining a local camera club that I haven't been able to do while splitting time between two houses.
But having divided their time between their main residence and their holiday home, this move is really a chance to bring everything together under one roof.
Our budget for the move is £800,000, but we are willing to go a little above it if we find the perfect house.
Our buyers would like us to focus our property search in the southwest of the county, around the New Forest, so I'm joining them in Hampshire to go over the finer details of their proposed move. Hello, Gillian and Chris.
Hi.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Welcome to sunny Hampshire.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to meet you.
Thank you very much.
How are you going to approach finding this property? Are you going to be very practical, or do you want to go in and get a feeling about the place?
We're quite chilled about what it looks like. Doesn't have to have character or special features. It has to have space around it, and we don't need to be in commuter land anymore. So that's really the drive of the countryside, and having air around it.
Are there any deal breakers?
Yes, it's got to be detached.
Okay.
We would very much like a view. That's almost a deal breaker. We would like a big reception room, big master bedroom with ensuite.
We have 4 daughters between us, all of whom have their own cars. So when they all descend upon us, needs to be some parking space for them.
So the must-haves are the 4 bedrooms
Yes.
and some outside space.
Yes.
Are you both on the same page?
I think so,
I
yes.
think so. I don't think there's any major differences, and I think, yeah, we're very much in tune on what we're after.
Remind us of your budget.
Up to 800,000. However, if something ticked all of the boxes, we could probably find another £1 or 2.
Just £1 or 2.
Maybe up to another 50 on top of that.
OK. Well, we have chosen 3 lovely properties to show you. Let's get on with starting your new life.
Good.
For a maximum budget of £850,000, Chris and Gillian would like a detached property with lots of space both inside and out. It should have large reception rooms, 4 bedrooms for when the children come to stay, and a large driveway to accommodate all their cars. They're not too fussy about age or style, but would like a view if possible. We've lined up a selection of stunning homes here in Hampshire for Chris and Gillian to view, and at each one I'll be asking them to guess the price at the end of the tour. And then there's our mystery house, which could give them a little bit more than they bargained for. Are there any compromises that either of you are making for the other person?
I don't think it really compromises. Things have changed. I was very much wanting a house with a sea view, which is what we got with the Isle of Wight. So I'm prepared now to say I've been there, done that, and now want something in with a more rural setting and view.
I think buying any house probably involves a level of compromise, but we're very open-minded about this.
Maybe ask us at the end of the day.
For our first property, we're travelling to the village of Wellow on the edge of the New Forest. Some people refer to East and West Wellow, but officially it's just one village. Services found here include a post office, a greengrocer and a butcher. Our first house is a 5-minute drive from the village, just inside the boundary of the New Forest National Park. So this is your house number 1?
Great, it's
Very
really
nice.
pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice.
And it's in a lovely spot.
Lots of open spaces around you here.
Brilliant.
And look at your driveway.
Well, that will take some cars, won't it?
Yeah, and detached for you, of course.
Thank you.
What are your first impressions?
Very nice. Nice setting, very quiet.
Does this feel rural enough for you? Is this what you had in mind?
Yeah, I think so. It's yeah, nice and open, airy, fields, quiet. Yeah.
Lots of open spaces.
Yeah.
There's actually plenty to see inside. Let's get going.
Excellent.
Thank you.
The setting of our first property gets the thumbs up. It's a traditional New Forest brick cottage built in the early 1900s. And the ground floor should give Chris and Gillian the inside space they crave.
Wow.
So this is one of 2 reception areas, the sitting room and the dining room. And the other side of the house has another reception room, again with a fireplace, with a dining area and a sitting area. And then you've got the conservatory, which was put on fairly recently.
Fabulous. It's a really nice room, isn't it?
It flows very well. Nice and light.
So is this what you were talking about when you said we want space, inside and outside?
Yes. Yes.
I actually think it works really well because each bit of it isn't huge, but it adds up to a really big space. So it's the kind of place that would accommodate just the 2 of us, or when the whole family's round, which is 7+.
A working fire. You can imagine in the winters, night, a log roaring away there, and yeah, very much. It just works, and it looks nice.
Should we go and see the kitchen?
Please.
This would be your kitchen.
Oh, it's got a range.
It's got a range, well spotted. I've not really talked about what you wanted from a kitchen, Gillian, but
That would be
do
my
tell us.
dream. That is really, really nice. It's a real cosy sort of country kitchen, isn't it?
If I was to be critical, it's probably slightly smaller than we would like in an ideal world. But
Yes,
it's a lovely kitchen.
It's
Very nice.
much more spacious than it looks from outside,
on
isn't
the
it?
outside.
The whole house, yes. Yes.
Should we go upstairs?
Please.
Thank you.
I'll let you lead the way.
It's all going well so far, and the ground floor also features a utility room, shower room, and a second conservatory. Whereas downstairs has benefited from a side extension and those conservatories at the back, the upstairs is more compact. There are 4 bedrooms, 2 doubles and 2 smaller singles overlooking the garden. They're all serviced by 1 family bathroom.
So this is one of 2 double bedrooms you would be able to choose from to create your master bedroom.
Is there an ensuite?
There is no ensuite. Is that something that would be an absolute deal breaker?
Not really.
It'd be great if there was one.
But I think if there wasn't an ensuite, we'd want quite a big family bathroom because there potentially would be a lot of us to use it.
So you've got 4 bedrooms here, which was your minimum requirement,
Yep, that's
but
perfect.
are 2 doubles and 2 singles enough? Is that big enough for you?
Putting me on the spot now, I think the upstairs is a bit too small.
But the downstairs is lovely.
It is absolutely
and that
fantastic.
sort of size for downstairs would be
Would be perfect.
absolutely ideal.
If the space upstairs is a concern for Chris and Gillian, there are options outside. This extensive garage outbuilding also contains a utility room, an office, a man shed for Chris perhaps? In addition to the spacious driveway at the front, the grounds to the rear include a terraced patio, formal lawn, a further entertaining space and 2 paddocks.
A sizable garden, I think you'd agree.
Yes.
There's quite a lot of bits to it, so this is obviously the main part of the garden.
Garden goes right to the oak tree at the bottom.
You're absolutely right.
Wow. Very nice.
I think it's fantastic.
Now it's time for the tough question. What is it on the market for?
£775,000.
OK. What about you, Gillian?
I think it's a little more than that because the location is absolutely fantastic and the amount of garden. So I'm going to say 825.
What a perfect married couple. Smack bang in the middle, this house is on the market for £800,000.
OK.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
What do you think about that?
We weren't a million miles apart.
No. You look like you are dying to go and have another look around. You want
Yes.
to see the rest of the garden and the inside, don't you?
Please.
Thank you.
I'll let you do that, and I'll meet you in a bit.
OK.
Thank you very much.
On the market at £800,000, our first property is bang on budget. It's a traditional detached cottage built from New Forest red brick. The downstairs accommodation includes spacious entertaining areas and 2 conservatories. It comes with 4 bedrooms, 2 of which are doubles, and the grounds include a spacious driveway, large outbuilding and paddocks. And it's located close to a popular village just inside the New Forest National Park.
It's a pretty cottage in a nice setting. I was very pleased with what we saw. I think the main issue was that 2 of the bedrooms were really just singles, and the family bathroom was probably slightly smaller than we would have wanted.
It's got a really nice flow to it, this house, and a lovely warm atmosphere. I think the reception rooms downstairs are really special, but for me, I want a big bedroom.
Did you have a good look around?
Thank you, we did, yes, lovely.
Did you explore my man shed idea a bit more?
I did. Forget the house, I'll buy the man shed. Perfect.
Good to hear. On to house 2.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sitting on the banks of the River Test in the north of the county is the historic town of Whitchurch. The river is a clue to the town's industrial past because Whitchurch is home to Britain's oldest operational silk mill, built around the year 1815. Today, it's a working museum, weaving bespoke silk products using 19th century machinery. Over the years, the mill has supplied a range of products, from the linings of legal gowns to silk for insulating copper cables during the Second World War. Since Chris and Gillian are keen to soak up Hampshire's heritage, we sent them to try their hand at winding silk the traditional way. They're meeting Mari Page, who first started working at the factory when she was 16. The raw silk is imported from China, just as it was when the factory first opened. The skein, or thread of silk, has already been dyed and is now ready to be wound onto bobbins.
This is a skein of silk.
Is that, how many threads of silk are there?
This is one continuous length of thread.
It's very soft.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Because it's had the gum taken out, the natural gum that was in it when it was in a raw state, and it's had the gum been degummed and dyed.
I think I'd like to have hair like this.
Yes, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
And that long.
Yes. Anyway, what we do is, this is called a swift, and we put the skein onto the swift, like so. I put the skein onto the swift, and the end of the skein is tied to one of these strings here. There's the end.
So that's the end, that's the bit you'll attach to the bobbin?
Yeah, and then you wind it round onto the bobbin, over the top. So it winds on that way, like so.
Now it's Chris and Gillian's turn to have a go at winding.
What if it goes wrong?
Well, if it goes wrong, it could end up like this, but I'm sure it won't.
In the 19th century, at its height, the mill employed around 80 workers. Some were children as young as 12, and like mills across the country, hours were long and working conditions were tough. Life in the mill is very different today, and with Mari's help, our buyers are finally getting the hang of it.
Magic.
There we go.
That's fascinating.
And very difficult.
This winding frame is possibly about 1950s. So it's still been wound like this for, I guess, hundreds of years.
After winding, the threads of the individual bobbins are arranged lengthways by a machine and made into a warp in preparation for weaving. Some of the looms in the weaving shed are more than 100 years old.
This is the power loom,
Right.
which you'll see running today.
So tell us about all these.
Each single warp thread coming off the back of the loom is threaded through an individual eye, and then it comes through the reed, and then it's woven. If we get our ear defenders on, I'll put the loom on, and you can see it running.
Today, the Working Museum produces customised fabrics for clients including modern fashion designers and historic homes. Now let's see if we can weave our magic and find Chris and Gillian a new home in the county. For the second house of the day, we're travelling to the other side of the national park and to the hamlet of North Gourley. The pretty and peaceful New Forest hamlet has a 17th century inn, which was once a royal hunting lodge and a popular tea room. House number 2 is situated in a conservation area on the edge of the hamlet.
So welcome to house number 2.
Great.
Gosh, that's fantastic.
I like it.
I like it. Wow.
That's really nice.
That is very nice.
Big driveway, Chris.
Loads of cars.
Just as you asked for.
Thank you.
A double garage.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So this much parking's okay for you?
Yeah, I think this will do. We go in.
Go on
Come
then.
on.
Chris is eager to get inside our impressive second property, which was built in the 1930s and renovated 20 years ago.
So this really would be your main living room, I think. And what I love about this room is the 180-degree views
Yeah.
of your outside.
Yeah, I like the... do you call that a triple aspect? I like that.
Perfect.
Yes. And a
Wood burning.
well-used log burning stove.
Yeah.
It's a little smaller than I was expecting.
Yes. The house looks so much bigger from outside, but this room is smaller than I expected.
It's still very nice. It's
Yes.
a nice, homey atmosphere.
Yes.
There are 2 further reception rooms downstairs, a formal dining space and a study area that could make an excellent snug.
So while I kind of picture your family chilling out in the living room, I think this could be the heart
Yes.
of your household, where everyone gathers.
This is a nice room, isn't it?
This is what I call a kitchen.
Now, size-wise, is this a little better for you?
This is
Yes.
great. This is a really nice size, because it's not too big, but it's certainly not small.
Yes.
So.
And you have a utility room, quite a sizable utility room just through there.
I like the island as well.
Yes. This
Yeah, I
this
like islands to chop
Yes.
vegetables and
I've
things.
never had one, but I think it's something I would like to have.
Yes. And the size, it doesn't, very often the island will make the rest of the kitchen look small, but this doesn't do it to it. So
No.
It's nice.
It's a nice room.
No, it's a nice sized island. So do you think the kitchen matches more what you thought the house might look like
Yes,
from the outside?
without a doubt.
Yes.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Chris and Gillian thought the upstairs of our first property was on the small side, but this house has 4 spacious bedrooms, 2 are large doubles, and there are 2 smaller rooms, as well as family bathrooms and a separate shower room for when they have a full house.
This is a nice room.
This is your master bedroom. Suite, I'm going to call it.
That's a very nice room, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you have this lovely dressing area here and an ensuite, Gillian, as you requested.
Thank you, yes.
Oh, this is nice. This is the sort of size room, again, that we would be looking for.
A bit more what you had in mind.
Totally what we had in mind.
That's good, I love that word, totally. I love the size of that grin too.
Yeah. No, this is what's the saying? Light and airy.
Yes, it is. Well, let's go show you that garden that you
Okay.
want to see.
Thank you.
The back garden has been terraced and is mainly laid to lawn with plenty of trees and shrubs.
And finally, we have the garden
Very nice.
with your beautiful views out onto the New Forest.
Fantastic views from here.
They are nice, aren't they?
Like the fruit trees.
On a slope, but manageable.
How much is the house and garden on the market for? Gillian, I'm going to come to you first.
But it might be me. I think 735.
What about you, Chris?
700,000 exactly.
I wonder whether those guesses reflect how you feel about the property. I'm not quite sure as yet. The house is actually on the market for £815,000.
What? Gosh.
So you're both a little out, I'd say. Which I was going to say leaves you spare change to put your own stamp on it, make all the changes that you might want to make it your own.
Yes, that's a big surprise.
I think to put our own stamp on it would cost quite a lot of money. And I think there's some work to do in the garden to clear the back bit here. But I think probably where we've gone wrong is the location. I wasn't quite sure what the impact of the different side of the New Forest made.
Do you want to have another look around?
Yes, please.
Thank you, that'd be lovely.
Priced at £815,000, our second house is still within Chris and Gillian's maximum budget. It's an impressive 1930s family home with 4 large bedrooms. Downstairs there are 3 reception rooms as well as a spacious kitchen. It has a large driveway and a sloped garden with views of the New Forest.
This has to be the his and hers office. The piano wouldn't work in here because of the log burner making it too hot.
Yeah, but there's plenty of room for 2 desks.
Definitely, and views over the garden. I think coming into the house, I was surprised at the size of the main sitting room, the living room. It was much smaller than I anticipated it would be, given the external size of the house.
The sitting room is a little smaller than I was looking for, but I think the house has the most enormous potential. Upstairs, the master bedroom and ensuite are just the size we've been looking for, so really impressed at that. And all the other rooms seem to be big as well. It's one that I feel I definitely need to sleep on.
I am still shocked at the huge gap between their guesses and the actual price of this house. Hello, guys.
Hi.
Did you have a good look around?
We did, thank you very much.
Shall we go and digest what we've seen today?
It's the second day of our property search here in Hampshire, and on a maximum budget of £850,000, we're helping Chris and Gillian swap the commuter belt of Buckinghamshire for the piece of the south coast. Coming up, our mystery house leaves them struggling for words.
It's just stunning.
Yes.
It really is.
It's difficult to take it all in. This is fantastic.
And I help rein in some of the county's much-loved locals.
I think yesterday was a real eye-opener, as well as giving Chris and Gillian a reality check about how much a property can cost in Hampshire. It also allowed us to fully understand what they're after. They like the downstairs of house number 1 and the upstairs of house number 2. So will the mystery house provide them with the perfect all-round package? Well, on paper, it could just tick all their boxes, even though I think it's a property they would have never considered all on their own.
Our mystery property is a hop over the border into Dorset and to the small village of Woodlands. Nearby Cranbourne is the best bet for shops and services and was known as Chaseborough in the novels of Thomas Hardy. The village has 2 pubs, a local store and a post office. Before we reach our mystery house, we're making a stop at one of Dorset's most unusual structures to get a better sense of our surroundings.
So I don't know whether you've noticed, but we've actually crossed the border into Dorset. We are half an hour away from the New Forest, where we were yesterday. The reason why I've brought you here, this tower, Horton Tower, it's a classic example of a folly. It was once said to be the tallest non-religious building in Britain. Apparently, from the top, you can see the Isle of Wight.
How ironic.
And also, we can see the mystery house, which I'm very, very keen to show you. So let's go.
Looking forward to it.
And our mystery house is just a 5-minute drive away, located on a quiet country lane. Chris and Gillian wanted space and lots of it. Heading over the border into East Dorset, where average detached prices are lower than in the New Forest, should give them more house for their money. But the question remains whether our mystery property might be just a bit too much for them.
My goodness.
Oh, wow.
Is it all of that?
This is your mystery house.
Gosh, that looks stunning.
It's a bit greedy, isn't it?
Well, this is the reason it's a mystery. I know for most of the year it's just going to be the 2 of you.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not sure that you would have ever considered this, because, in fact, this property is double the size of house number 2.
My word.
Well, we can cope with that.
Yes.
I think.
Oh,
2 houses worth of furniture.
you were converted quick. It's actually, there used to be stables belonging to the Earl of Shaftesbury. They were built in the 19th century. Let's go and see this huge space.
Thank you.
Our enormous mystery house has made a good first impression on our buyers, but the property may require a bit of work, to the exterior at least. You get an immediate sense of its size from the grand entrance hall. In total, there's 3,000 square feet of living space on offer here. Unlike our first two houses, the interior of this one is open plan.
And this really, I think, would be your main hub, your main living area.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be saying that a lot.
Am I? Okay.
Over there.
I'll find a different word.
No. It is really, really open plan living down here. Basically, the whole downstairs is pretty open, not many doors. But if you did need a private area, just to the end there is a room with a door that you could use as a study. The current tenants are using it as a bedroom, but it would, I think, make the perfect study area for you.
Might get lost on the way.
But how do you feel about
Well,
this kind of living?
just, yeah, brilliant. I can't take it in. It's light, it's air, it's the space we want.
Gillian, can you see yourself in here?
Oh, yes, I can. I've never seen anything like it. I think it's wonderful.
And I know you've already spotted
I have.
that kitchen. Should we go and soak it all up? Oh, I do hope this isn't too small for you.
I think we might be able to fit in it.
I think it's wonderful.
A huge
It's rare I'm
country
silenced.
kitchen.
It's fantastic. I could absolutely see us in here.
Even though it's very big and you can't hide that, it's not such a size that two people would rattle around and get lost in it.
Should we see what the upstairs has to offer?
Yes.
The house has 4 double bedrooms. One of those is being used as a study, and another has a quirky add-on, a roll-top bath actually in the bedroom itself. There's also a good-sized family bathroom. And finally, the master suite.
Oh, that's lovely,
Oh,
isn't it?
wow.
That's really special, isn't it?
Yes, fantastic.
This is actually one of 4 double bedrooms in the property.
Okay.
The one that we've just passed, which is just next door, if you didn't need it all year round for guests, I really think would make a fantastic sort of separate walk-in wardrobe dressing area. How do you feel about the beam and the character of this room?
It's just stunning.
Yes.
It really is.
It's difficult to take it all in. It is fantastic.
The master also has the all-important ensuite for Gillian, but this one is a little unusual.
Oh, my word.
That's different.
Well,
That's really fun, isn't it?
His and hers bath.
Yes, that's fun. I like that very much.
It's brilliant.
you both look a little overwhelmed. Is
I
that
think
fair
that's
to
a
say?
good word, yes.
It's very difficult to take it all in.
I was worried we'd given Chris and Gillian too much house, but they seem more than comfortable with the idea. And the whole space theme continues outside in the garden, which is enclosed and largely laid to lawn. There's also a detached 6-car garage block at the front.
The whole plot actually is just over an acre, so that's
Okay.
how much land you would have.
There's room for chickens as well.
So you've seen the mystery house. How do you feel about it?
It's the closest thing to perfection, I think. Certainly far better for us than the other 2 houses you showed us.
Gillian, how much do you think this property is on the market for?
I think it's over budget. I think it's on at £860,000.
I think actually fractionally under budget,
Okay.
£835,000.
It's actually somewhere in the middle. This house is on the market for $849,950.
That's very interesting, isn't it?
Yes, that's food for thought.
Would you like some time to walk around and I'll come and meet you in a bit? Take your time, of course.
Thank you.
Will do.
On the market at just shy of £850,000, our mystery house is at the top end of Chris and Gillian's budget. It's a large barn-style home, formerly a stable block built in the 19th century. The house has 4 double bedrooms and an ensuite with a his and her bath. Downstairs, there are 3 large reception rooms, including a grand entrance hall. There's also a spacious kitchen and breakfast room and a 6-car garage block in the grounds.
There were a number of winning features, but I guess if I were to put it down to 2 winning features, it's the size of the downstairs sitting rooms, and we always said we wanted a nice, large sitting room, and the size of the master bedroom, with a very interesting ensuite.
The biggest positive for me is the kitchen and the main sitting room. I think that area works really well. I think there's lots of work that needs doing. I think the windows, a lot of them are single glazed, so they would need to be replaced.
I think Gillian's on a very similar page to me. She's probably going to be slightly more cautious about the amount of money it's going to take to do things, but I think this has got under her skin as well.
Excited?
Very excited.
So am I. I definitely want to hear more of your thoughts, but not here. Come with me.
Okay.
One of Hampshire's biggest draws is the New Forest National Park, over 500 square kilometres of heathland and ancient woodland. One of its most iconic residents is an indigenous breed of pony, aptly named the New Forest pony, and today there are around 4,000 of them. Although they're free to roam, these ponies are owned by commoners, people who have a centuries-old right to put them out to graze in return for a fee. I've come to meet one of these commoners whose family have been breeding New Forest ponies for generations, Farmer James Young.
James, hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Tell us about the ponies.
The New Forest ponies have been around in the forest. They're mentioned in the Doomsday Book. My family ran the oldest established herd in the forest. My great-great-great-grandmother bought 8 mares with her as a dowry, as a wedding dowry, and our current ponies descend directly from those ponies that came all those years ago.
And tell us more about being part of a commoning family, what that entails.
Well, I think any job working with animals is very much a 24/7. You tend to live by the seasons. We're getting to the time of year now in the autumn where we have the annual roundups and the foals are got in and some are kept and some are sold. There's a lot of management issues with the ponies, worming them, putting collars on, just general tending to them and care and management.
The roundup is known as a drift, and James and his colleagues are in the process of gathering their herd for the annual checkup. Over the centuries, the New Forest pony has adapted to life in this unique environment. It's light and sure-footed so it can move through the scrub, and it's hardy to cope with the tough winter. Although they appear quiet, the ponies are semi-feral, and rounding them up requires skill and years of practice.
If you could pass me the collar, that would be great, please.
OK. So what's the collar for?
It's a luminous collar, and the aim of it is to prevent or reduce, anyway, road accidents. The idea being that, particularly with a pony that's a single whole black colour like this, a motorist will see the collar and avoid hitting the pony, because that's one of the worst problems with ponies on the forest are the accidents.
So tell us what else you do on these health checks.
Well, really, you just wanted to make sure that the pony is OK to survive the next 12 months, particularly the winter. In this mare's case, I mean, she's in good condition. We're going to wean the foal shortly before she goes back to forest, because she isn't going to be able to maintain bodily condition while suckling a foal during the winter.
Right.
So the foal's going to be weaned, and we'll need to get that in and look after it for this first winter, because the first winter is the most important for them.
The ponies provide a natural cutting function and are vital in maintaining the balance in the forest, feeding on the brambles and gorse that would otherwise become overgrown. Approaching the ponies isn't encouraged.
Do people know how to deal with them? Because, of course, they are wild.
Well, sadly, they don't, and some misguided people tend to feed the ponies, and then the ponies get to expect food, so that when the next lot come along and don't feed them, it can cause problems, which is why we're so particular about asking visitors and tourists to the forest not to feed the ponies.
I'm going to let you finish off your health check.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you and your ponies.
Thank you very much.
Whilst it no longer provides a living, the right to graze ponies is still being practised by people like James because it's a traditional way of life. Without it, the forest would be a very different place.
When we left the mystery house, I think it's safe to say Chris was very much sold on the property. It's time to find out if a more cautious Gillian is now ready to take the big leap too. So, Gillian and Chris, after 2 days of house hunting with us, what next?
Well, I think it's fairly easy that we, with regret, have to dismiss the first two houses. They both had lots of things we liked, but not enough for us to take it to the next stage. However, I think we're fairly agreed that today the third house, the mystery house, has a lot of mileage and needs some more investigation.
Yes, I could see my family enjoying Christmas there. I think I've already put the Christmas tree in place.
Let me guess, in the hallway.
That's it. So I think we'd like to do a second viewing and perhaps take it from there.
Do you think you've had a bit of a reality check about how far your money would go in a county like Hampshire?
Yes, I think it was clear yesterday when we were in and around the New Forest that whilst our budget, in our view, is very healthy, it was probably not quite enough to achieve what we want. Whereas moving out of the area only by a small margin, we get much more for our money.
It's very, very beautiful around here as well, so it doesn't even feel like a compromise.
Would you consider an offer on the mystery house?
Subject to a second look around and another look at the area, yes, I would like to think we would put an offer in on that house.
Would you be comfortable with that, Gillian?
Yes, I would, yes.
So you both are still on the same page?
We said that from the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And will you let us know how that all goes?
Of course.
You've been brilliant company.
We've had great fun. Thank you very much
Thank you
indeed.
very much.
I'm so pleased that Chris and Gillian are seriously considering an offer on the mystery house. Truth be told, I would have been a little disappointed if they hadn't, because I honestly believe it has everything they say they want. And that's why I'm genuinely intrigued about where their next move will take them. If they do end up in Hampshire, they may have to reassess their wish list. Until next time, goodbye.
Reluctantly, Chris and Gillian decided that the mystery house was going to be too much of a project for them, but they are now looking at properties in Dorset. If you'd like to escape to the country in Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland, or maybe even further afield to the continent and would like our help, then please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.